I am Honorable Alaude Ganiju Olabamiji, an indigenous of Igbeti town. Actually, I hail from the Oloko family, Igbeti. Igbeti itself, as a town, happened to be one of the most ancient towns, right from the period of Old Oyo Empire. In fact, it's the closest of all the communities that survived the internecine war that ravaged Oyo Empire. This place was more or less a harbor for those displaced out of the Old Oyo Empire when the war entered there. So many people that rushed out, that they run away from the crossfire, they settle in this area as independent settlements. I said independent settlement because there are over 240 settlements, but they were there independent of each other. And that was during the reign of Alaafin Onigbogi, who actually left Oyo Empire when the Old Oyo, that is the seat of government of Old Oyo Empire, was sacked by the Nupe people. So, and he traveled to the Baruba country before the establishment of another new Oyo. Not actually this present Oyo. So this present Oyo was established by Alaafin Atiba Abiodun. Now Igbeti herself, as I said, was made up of many independent settlements. So these settlements during the reign of Alaafin Abiodun Adegolu were called together to join hands, because as at that time this Danfodio whatnot, Uthman Danfodio jihadists was drumming that he had promised to dip his swords to the Atlantic Ocean and will cross over the Niger River. Definitely will touch Oyo Empire, being the greatest empire then. So under this gas that they were spreading Islam or religion. So this forced Alaafin Abiodun to call all the settlements together to unite. So these people have to merge, or say they amalgamate. So after the amalgamation, they now settled to form what is known as Igbeti. Yes, you see, before the merging or the establishment of Igbeti itself, there was a period of Oramiyan, the founder of Oyo, or the father of the Yorubas. Oramiyan happens to be the first Alaafin of Oyo. So when he was getting older and oldest, he was suspected that his age is dwindling. I know one day we leave this earthly world. He has to instruct his lieutenants, now known as Oyomi, that after I might have passed on to join my ancestors, he employed them to make sure that it was Sango that was made the Alaafin after him. Sango actually was the only son of his mother, called to receive from the Nupe land. The mother was so loved by Oraniyan that he told his people that after him, Sango should be made the Alaafin. However, after the death of Sango, the Oyomi now changed what they have promised Oraniyan, and they make the elder brother to Sango, his stepbrother, the Alaafin. That man was known as Dada Ajakaiji. So this, after making Dada Ajakaiji the Alaafin, this annoyed Sango that he decided to leave the Oyo city and travel to Ile-Ife to go and consult the ancestors of the Yoruba, particularly Oduduwa and his father, that this is what the Oyomese people have done. They have betrayed you. So when he was leaving the Oyo city, he moved along with some people in his entourage. So on getting to the foot of Iyamoku, what we call Iyamoku is a hill, the biggest of all hills in this environment. So let's say in Oyo is the highest and the biggest. So in this environment is the mother of all hills. So that Iyamoku, where a goddess was residing, a spiritual female gender was residing. So it was that spiritual gender, female gender, that's named Iyamoku. So that Iyamoku appeared on Sango and stopped him. That Sango to stop his annoyance, that he knows his travail. She knows he had travail and promised him that if he can be patient and stay with her for some time, the Oyo people will come by themselves to look for him to come and become the Alaafin. Sango agreed. You know, that is what he needed. So he stayed with Iyamoku for not less than 7 years. So with his entourage, they climbed up the hill. The entourage were living in another place. Yes, as I was saying, when Sango was there, Iyamoku called the spirit of other 15 hills, together making 16, to empower Sango in preparation for the task as Alaafin they are looking ahead for, or two. So because Sango was there, he was later recalled at Oyo, that is come and be the Alaafin, because they disposed Dare Ajaka, his elder brother, for uneloquency, and he was not as active as they was. You know, that time was a time of international war, seeking suzerain here and there. We want to condemn, and so because of this empowerment makes Sango to be unique among other Alaafins. And up to now, the Yoruba people believe that there is no any powerful Alaafin as powerful as Sango. So the uniqueness or the importance of this to Igbeti people was, people believe Sango was the first person to live on the hill as human being. And they believe when he was living to Oyo, the remnant of his entourage stayed behind to establish Igbeti community. However, on his way back to Oyo, the spirits in one of the hills in Igbeti called Erugba Hill. On that Erugba Hill, still up to now, a stone drum that looks like bata. Bata is one of the African traditional drums that we have on Yoruba land, and it's synonymous to Sango. So that spirit gave Sango that bata drum. It was that bata drum that Sango used to storm the Oyo kingdom, the Oyo city, where he was returning to become the Alaafin. So it was very unique, that never knew about it. That is it. A hill here. And the Igbeti people believe that it's the mother of Igbeti, because it was on the top that Igbeti people rose to when eventually the jihadists crossed over the river Niger and they sacked Ilorin. Yeah, they sacked Oyo under the Afonja. You know, at that time, Afonja, who happened to be the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Oyo, has a face-off with the rain Aláàfin, Aláàfin, I remember the name, said Aláàfin. So his own Aláàfin that appointed him as Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, they have a face off. So Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò now pinched his tent with the Fulanis under the Alimi. So to wage war against the Oyo Empire. And they conquered Oyo Empire. Do you get what I mean now? So, being as that, many other people left to join Igbeti people. So when that war crossed over Niger and they reached Old Oyo, the Oyo city, so people discovered that the strength by which this war is coming will be very, very heavy on them. They now climbed up to the Yamoko hilltop. So when they climbed up to the Yamoko hilltop, what they first did was they built a defense wall, which is now fulfilled when you look at when you climb the Yamoko hill now to the top, you see the defense wall. This defense wall was about 3 meters, 3.5 meters in width and about 8.5 meters in height. But because of the effect of weather and the age of it, the thing has been reduced. You can only see the remnants now when you get there. So they now build the defense wall as one of the war strategies. Even the climbing up to the hill is also a war strategy. So this makes it very, very difficult for any enemy or assailant to attack the town. And that is why Igbeti happened to be one of the impregnable towns in the Yoruba land. No any war conquered Igbeti during those internecine wars. If after the peace have returned to Yoruba land, there was another war that the Igbeti people called Aganigan War. And that war is not war per se. It's more or less the war of banditries or the terrorisms. So that is it. So they are able to fight against all this, and they know any war conquered Igbeti before. Religiously, the primary religions that Igbeti people have is traditional religion. It was later that in the introduction of Christianity and Islam came. Now, you know, as I said the other time, that many independent communities brought themselves together to form a town known today as Igbeti. When everyone is coming, their culture and tradition is almost the same thing like that of the Oyo city, that is the Yoruba proper, the metropolitan zone of the old Oyo. You know, Oyo, the historians were divided into left wing, right wing, that is Ekun Otun, Ekun Osi, and the metropolitans. So Igbeti belongs to the metropolitan, that is the center, and the purest Yoruba language is found there. They call them Yoruba proper. So that is it. So they have traditional religions like Oro, Egungun. We call it Egun. After we have the worshipping of Yamoko itself. The worshipping of Yamoko is very, very significant because we believe it's the mother of the town. It's significant in the sense that Aláàfin Ṣàngó himself, when he was alive, used to come for the worshipping of the hill and other hills, because he promised those spirits in the hills that because they empowered him, he's ready to be giving them sacrifice, propitiations. So anytime, any year, at least once in a year. So that turned to become the festival of Yamoko, known as Odunoke, the festival of hills. So it was that day, the same day, that other hills that empower Ṣàngó used to be appeased. So when they appease them, then whatever everyone wants, they will get it. Like the day when they are worshiping, people will be there at the shrine of Yamoko It was by the side, not very close to Yamopo's shrine, you have the shrine of other hills. So you have the shrine there, and if you go there during that festival, whatever challenges of life, either social or health-wise, and you go to that place, you appeal to the goddess of the hill, definitely you have success over it. But you have to promise it that by next year, if this thing is solved, I will give you so and so. But Yamopo don't take human blood. Igbeti abhors human sacrifice, and never happens before, and it will never happen for life. It's very good as tourist center. I call it a tourist village, if not tourist town. Tourist village because those tourist centers has not been developed. But if it's developed, I rather call it a tourist city, because your approach to the town itself is enough an attraction. Because you see that the town is sited in the valley of many hills. Those hills stand as if they hold each other by stretch of their arms. So it's inside that bowl form, that valley, that the town is sited. One of the reasons why it was impregnable as a fortress for the town. That is one. If you feel it from the above, the area view of the community, or you say at a vintage point, you will discover that Igbeti looks as an amphitheater. So as natural amphitheater. That is why at times they refer to Igbeti as a land of geographical wonders. When you look at all these hills that surrounds Igbeti town, you discover that they have unique shape. Take any hill, because we have more than 26 hills and rocks in Igbeti, and each of them have their name. Because among them we have Yamopo Hill, Oke Hill, Obadimo Hill, Iruba Hill, Santo Hill, Seo Hill, Esin Hill, Apanla, Opetolu. I've mentioned Obadimo, Opetolu, Agbeli Hill. Apart from Agbeli Hill, we have Akwite Hill, Oki Hill, Omosanda Hill. All of these and many others like that. Among the rocks, we have Aboyogun, Okutoko, Okutapete, and so on and so forth. Apanla, Ogbagba. All these hills have their significance and contribution to the survival. All they call Igbeti Marble City, because it's in Igbeti you have the purest white marble stone in Africa. Research confirmed that. Geological research confirmed that the purest marble stone is found in Igbeti, and a very large, the largest deposit in West Africa of white marble stone, and that is why they call it the Marble City. But recently, research have discovered that there's another minerals. I don't know which one is more valuable than marble, called lithium, that has been discovered, yet to be tapped. But it's sure that it is on ground in a very large quantity. So later, now I believe they will call it, instead of calling it a marble city, they will call it a natural minerals city. Apart from that, it's said that this town has the deposit of limestone yet to be tapped. They have deposit of lead yet to be tapped. All this exists, but yet to be tapped. I believe by the time they're ready to tap all these things, Igbeti will now become the city of mineral resources. Not only the town, we have to give respect and accolades to the reigning, or should I say, the present administration of Oyo State. In 2022, the World Tourism Day was organized and was celebrated in this community to showcase the tourist sites we have. Among the tourist sites we have on Iyamoku. Iyamoku hill itself, looking at its imposing nature, is enough a tourist. And looking at the surroundings, it's enough a tourist attraction. Then when you climb to the top of Iyamoku, we have other features, like the location where Igbeti people lived when we were on the hilltop, the remnants or the relics of the defense wall built to secure those that lived on the hill. Then we have Iyamoku Cave, where we believe that goddess of the hill, when he appears as human being, used to live. Apart from that, we have another cave called Megan Sango, that is Sango Cave, where Sango was hosted. Then apart from that, on the hill, we have 3 wells called the Three Rivers Well, or Well of Three Rivers. 2 of those rivers joined together, and one is isolated, but at a very close range to each other. Their water don't mix together. 2 that join together, the water flows together to join them. But you cannot take their water and put it to the other. If you take from those that join together, you put it to the one that is isolated, the water will splash back. If you take the water from and put to the 2 that associated, it will splash back. There are many legendary behind that, and the importance of it used by the olden day settlers of Igbeti. And it's a taboo, not even only a taboo. You don't drink the water from the 2 together. The water from the 3 wells are drinkable, but if you drink the one that join together, you don't drink the one that is isolated. If you do it, it's either death with immediacy, or if you are lucky and you are able to contact the priest of the hill called the Aboke, who is the chief priest of Igbeti, then we will perform some atonement for that person, and it will be okay. So apart from that, on the Iyamoku Hill, there's another one where we believe there's footstep, the step of an angel. Very, very visible when you go there now. When you go into the cave, those caves I mentioned, and that step, or you stay by the river, whatever you ask for shall be. But you don't ask for negative things. So that is that. Then when you go into the town, there's one hill we call Okin Hill. On top of Okin Hill, we have a pond called the Pond of Sango. Nobody is allowed to fetch water from that pond. So we were told by legend that it's only Sango that can fetch water from that pond. So, and it's fetched, usually fetched once in a year. Sango will come from Oyo, that is Oyo, the old Oyo, to take bath. Yes, we call that one Agbeli Hill. It's Agbeli Hill. It has its own story too. That was one woman from Bariba country came during Iyamoku festival to come and ask for child because she was barren. So after the womb was opened, he was blessed, he decided to return to her town. So he returned after the birth of that child to come and pay his promise to Iyamoku. I said, if you want something, Iyamoku, if you give me so thing, you make so thing for me. By next year, I'll do this, I'll do that, so I bring so. So, as sign of a thanksgiving. So, as she was warned that she should not look back, But eventually, she looked back and became stone. Now, you see, that is not strange. It's not wickedness. Even in the Bible, the wife of Lot also did the same thing and became pillar of salt. Apart from that, we have the bata drum, whereby it is confirmed that that is the source of bata drum. You know, I said when Sango was returning to, so it's the bata drum. And that drum serves as alarm to get people during the war. If there's any war, any assailant coming into the town, the bata will be sounded seriously. So that is about bata. Save this tourist center and all others that I have not mentioned, because they are various. We have the Omosanda Hill, and we have a place there where the soldiers used to come out, mysterious soldiers, when there's any sort. When the hill is well implicated. We have another cave there called beside that Oke Hill, where people lived in the past. Call it Buradan. So if these sites were developed, they pay attention to it, and it's well developed, then we believe not only for this community, it's enough for your state, even not to look into the federal allocation before they can do whatever they want to do, if it's well developed. So that is that. If the tourist centers were developed, well developed, we have many other facilities that is necessary to host those who are coming into the town. We have standard hotels and guest houses. Then we have hospitals to take care of them. And we assure them that among all the towns in Oyo State, it's only Igbeti that is the safest. We have standing local guards. We have standing local guards that can provide security to complement the effort of the police and other military personnel, even including the Amotekun that has just been established by the Oyo State government to complement the effort of local people in security. So we are sure that anybody that comes for tourism, they are on safe hand. Igbeti is unique among other towns because they are accommodating. From inception, even when Oyo has not fallen, the Oyo Empire has fallen. It has been and it's been developed gradually up to now. People buy and sell there. There's a unique one. They call it bushmeat, because many of the settlements around the Yamopu and other hills, majority of the founders are hunters. So we have in large number, that is bushmeat, and at a cheaper price. Then, nowadays when we come to Igbeti, the biggest crab market where they sell cattle and the cattle and small ruminants like sheep and goats is Igbeti. Well organized, standard, and very, very large, with very good patronage. So these things makes Igbeti very, very unique. Igbeti, like Igbeti, they are mainly agrarians. We are mainly agrarians, planting various types of crops like yam, cereal crops, maize, guinea corn, whatever. Legumes of different species that you can get in Igbeti, even at a cheaper price, because almost everybody in Igbeti do farm and they produce those things. Now, the most important one that is popular now is cassava. You know, from cassava, they extract chemicals that can be used for other purposes to convert cassava into powder called lafun, that is the cassava chips. Apart from that, you can make starch from it. So in Igbeti, when you come to Igbeti, the production is very You know, Igbeti is located on a savanna land that favors the growth of these crops. So, getting cassava in very large quantity is easy for you, no matter the amount of tons of cassava that you need that you cannot have in Igbeti as an agrarian area. Then they produce maize in large quantity. It's unique. They share the same thing with Oyo. You know, as I said, we are the same metropolitan zone of Oyo Empire. In Igbeti, we have Dodo drum. We have Bata drum. We have many other drums. Even in the modern time, there's one that is very, very unique. That's not usually found in any other town. We call it panseke. So the items of drumming we have, you have the one, we call it a local cyber. We call it aru. That when they shake it, they make it in two. They shake and bang to produce a very sonorous sound for people. They use them during social events. Apart from those drum mentioned, we have another unique drum common to Yoruba land, especially being used by the hunters. We call it agere. That is a hunter's drum. They don't usually beat it unless when they have special occasions, like the funeral service of the past or departed hunters, that they beat it. So, Igbeti is socially okay. This musical instrument has become part of the culture of Yoruba. Apart from that, when you look at Igbeti people, we don't do away with our dressing. That is part of our culture. Like when you come into Igbeti, you don't have problem with them with accommodating, and you enjoy it. Go to eateries, both modern and local eateries. You get freshly prepared amala with gbegiri. Gbegiri is a beans soup mixed with other vegetables like ewedu or okra for your relics. And apart from that, you have a very good meat like egbe, fish, whatever you want to eat it with. Apart from amala, you can get eba made from cassava, or another type of amala called lafun made from cassava. So before I go, Igbeti itself on the global map is located on about around 4 degrees east of the prime meridian and about 8.5 degrees north of the equator for easy assessment and location. As I said the other time, it's a proper Yoruba town. But that does not mean that everybody in this place are Yorubas. We have other tribes. Possibly they come for farming, or they come for trading, or for other legal business to survive themselves. We have other tribes from Nigeria like Ijo, Benue, whatever, the Edos. They have their own tribes group that they call themselves to order in Igbeti. So Igbeti is a lively and accommodating community that is good for any business.